Eosinophilic esophagitis. What is it, besides something very hard to say? What does it mean to live with this disease? And how I manage this disease naturally. So stay tuned, and I'm going to answer all of those questions. Hey there, I'm Jen from At Home with Jen, and you probably found this video because either you have EoE, which is eosinophilic esophagitis, or one of your relatives or your husband or your child has developed it. So the actual technical definition of EoE is an inflammatory disease of the esophagus, and it's caused by food allergies or airborne or environmental allergies. So basically it's an allergy. Most of the time it's due to a food allergy. I was diagnosed back in 2009. So I've been researching this for the last 10 years and talking to a lot of people, and it seems to be that is the biggest trigger, is food allergies. So back in 1980, there was only 2 cases of EoE. Today, it's 1 in 2,000 that are diagnosed with it. So it is definitely growing. And back when I was diagnosed in 2009, it really wasn't heard of much. It was very unpopular. But today, it is extremely getting popular. So the only way that you can find out if you actually have EoE is to have a scope done by an endocrinologist or a gastrologist. And they actually take little pieces of your intestines and your esophagus just to see if there's eosinophilic activity. I think I said that right. Probably not. But that is how you find out. So there's tons of stuff on actually what EoE is, and I will let you guys do that research on your own. I want to talk about how I am managing mine naturally. So right now, from the treatment, it's pretty much steroids or PPI, or I was given an EpiPen. So the only thing is that those are all drugs that are made for allergies, basically. There really is no FDA-approved drug yet that is just specifically for EoE. So you're going to find that doctors are kind of experimenting because it's still pretty new. So they're not quite sure how to handle it. But you probably have actually been told to go on the elimination diet. And if you haven't been, you definitely should do the elimination diet. So there's like a 4-1 or there's a 6-1. And the only numbers is just basically depending on how many foods you're giving up. So if you have been diagnosed with EoE, my biggest suggestion is to go to a food allergist or a naturopath, or somebody that can actually test you for food allergies. Now, the tests aren't completely accurate, but it will give you a good starting point where you can kind of start from and kind of take a guessing game from there. So I would definitely go do that. I found that the naturopath had a biometric test where you like hold this like metal rod, and that kind of gave me a little bit more answers than the skin prick one from the allergist. So might want to see if you can find a naturopath in your area. So just a little bit about my journey here. I was diagnosed, like I said, in 2009. So I've been living with this for 10 years. And I tried all of the medications that that are typical. Those did nothing for me. So I decided to go to the natural route and go with focusing on the food allergy part. So back then I had 2 kids, and I put it off for a long time getting diagnosed because I was busy. And I kind of chalked it up to being a busy mama too when one of my children have special needs. So I just thought stress, just, too much going on, blah, blah, blah. But finally I had a food impaction. So I decided to actually go get it looked and see what it was. So it took a few different doctor trips to figure out it was EoE. And so my main symptom was the food impaction, food getting stuck in my esophagus. In my case, I have rings on my esophagus that close up because of the food allergies. So some people have different reactions to it. Some people, it's more in their stomach. Some people, it's intestines. Some people, obviously it's the esophagus. Some of them don't have food impactions, some of them do. So that's another crazy thing about this disease, is that it kind of varies a lot from person to person. I also had a lot of diarrhea. So, it was horrible. I had no energy whatsoever, like none. And so after, I would say it took about a good 2 years, maybe a year or 2 of eating really healthy, eating really clean. And I finally got some of my energy back. A lot of the brain fog kind of left. A lot of the food impactions weren't happening anymore. I was lucky enough I didn't get one so stuck that I had to have surgery, because that can happen. But a lot of times it would just get like halfway there and I just couldn't eat anything or couldn't drink anything until it actually went down. It was a very tight feeling, like you feel like you're choking, but you can still kind of breathe. It's weird. So if you have EoE, you know what I'm talking about. So some of the things that I've been doing to naturally improve myself is, like I mentioned, the food. I went completely organic, nothing out of a box. And the biggest way I got through that is meal planning. You have to meal plan. If you don't do it, what's going to happen is you're going to end up at the drive-thru. You're going to end up ordering pizza. And then your whole diet goes down the tubes. So you really need to get rid of the sugar too. Sugar is a inflammatory or inflammation. I'm not sure how that goes. But sugar causes your body to inflame. So, and that's part of this disease too, is that everything kind of gets inflamed. So you get rid of the sugar, that'll hopefully bring that down too. So that was a big thing that helped me too. And it helped because I couldn't have wheat. The first time I had done my allergy test, it was wheat, soy, dairy, sesame were the big keys that I won. The second time I went, it added like 28 different foods. So I don't even remember anymore. So the good thing with me is that I have kind of healed my gut a little bit. I've been able to introduce some of the foods back, which is great. So if you're just starting out with this and you're struggling, please don't give up. Don't. Stick with the diet. Stick with the good foods. Do some juicing. You have to get all those nutrients in your body, and then your body can heal itself. So I don't think you can ever fully get rid of this disease. They're saying that you can't. Maybe you can. I don't know. But I think it's kind of like, cancer. It goes into remission. So you always have to kind of keep track of it. Another great thing, when I first started, I kept a food diary. So for me too, sometimes the food reaction isn't right away. It's a little bit couple hours later or days later. And then if I keep my food diary, I can kind of look back and I can see what I was eating, and I know then what that trigger was. So yes, I know, again, it sucks. It sucks big time because you have a very limited diet. Going out to eat is pretty much non-existent. Though I will say that there is a lot more restaurants nowadays than when I first started. Because when I first started, nobody had a gluten-free menu. Nobody had, they looked at you funny when you said, I've got food allergies. But it is definitely a whole lot more common nowadays than it was before. So that's a plus. But so here are some of the tips that I did to get kind of through this. I always read labels. Read the labels. If you read a label, and this is anything, this is food, this is your makeup, this is your shampoo, your conditioner, your cleaners in your house, anything. If you can't read what is on that label, then don't use it. So this is kind of my theory, of why this is so popular now. And I think it's because of all the toxins we are associated with. It is, it's the foods have preservatives, have the pesticides in them. They're so processed now that our bodies don't know how to process it. They're like, what is this thing? And then they attack it because it's not natural. It's not what our bodies are meant to digest. So between that, all the toxins, all the fragrances. I mean, candles are so popular right now, and so are the Febreze, but there are so many toxic chemicals in those products that you really got to switch them out to something more natural. And if you watch my channel, subscribe to my channel, I go through, every one of my videos is basically ditching the toxins out of your life and how to live without these things. There's great substitutes. So it's not like you have to go without. You just have to learn a different lifestyle. And that's the biggest thing is with the food. You just have to learn a different way. And once you do it for a while, it becomes normal. So yeah, at first it sucks. I know it, and I lived it, and I've done it. It sucks. But if you keep with it, it becomes your new lifestyle. And that is what's going to make you healthier. And that's going to give you your energy back. And that's going to help you live your life like you're supposed to. So always have foods in your purse. Or if you're a guy, stash them in your car or whatever. There's been so many times that I am stuck somewhere and I'm starving and I can't find anything to eat because of my food restrictions. So grab a bunch of, I found a handful of granola bar type of things or power bars or whatever, protein bars. I put them in my purse. I always have something to eat because it sucks having, being hungry and not being able to go through the drive-through, because that's pretty much not an option. So that's like one of my biggest tips, is always keep food. The next one is fix your immune system. So 80% of our immune system comes from our gut. So I take probiotics, I take digestive enzymes, I take an essential oil blend called Digest, and all three of those things are supposed to help your digestive system. And that is like the biggest key, I think, with this disease is it's allergies in our gut. So our gut is just all screwed up, it's out of whack. So we have to do things to support it to make sure that we get that back. And I think between the foods and the supplements and stuff, that's why I've been able to introduce some foods back, because I repaired some of the damage that's been done. So that is a definite thing. Anything that has to do with your immune system to support it, do it. Any foods, any superfoods, I have a ton of them. Maybe I'll make a list down below of all the immune system support stuff I do. So the other thing is decrease your sugar. Sugar causes inflammation, so make sure you get rid of that. Make sure you get rid of stress. Stress is another trigger, especially for me. If I know I'm in a big deadline for work and I have to do a bunch of stuff and I'm going, and I forget to take care of myself, I crash. And I have to have like a day where I don't do anything because I just can't. So pace yourselves. Make sure you take care of yourself. That is a big thing. Take care of yourself. I know the mamas out there, it's hard to sometimes put us first, but I had to do that for a little while to make sure that I got healthier, and now I can put my kids first again. So make sure you put yourself first. Ditch the toxins, like I said, not just in food, in everything. Supplements, do your supplements. Do your essential oils if you guys are into that. If you're not, follow me, because I'm a big essential oil person, and they're great for supporting all kinds of different systems. So the one thing too is once you switch out this different lifestyle, ditch the toxins, you're going to see a couple things improve. Your sleeping improves a lot because your body can again function better. So I've noticed a big jump in my sleep. I've noticed allergies. I used to have a lot of environmental allergies. Those are like almost non-existent now. And it is because I've been repairing myself. So it takes a long time. It's taken, like I said, I was diagnosed 10 years ago. So it's taken me 10 years to get to this point. And I do. Now I have 2 jobs. I got 2 businesses I take care of now. I got 2 kids with lots of different sports and everything. But I plan. Planning is a big thing. I plan out my days. Everything has got a little time slot. And if I don't get it finished, it just doesn't get done. I go to my next time slot. So planning is huge. And meal planning is a huge, huge one. I did find a company called Wild Tree that has freezer meals, and they actually have some stuff in a box that is top 8 allergen free. So I'll put a link to that in there, and I actually have a special coupon code too that you guys can use. But it's been a big help because I got some shortcuts. Again, now that this has become popular, there's a whole lot of companies that do this now. I've seen meal plan companies, other ones. Like I think Sunbasket, I think was another one. Oh, I tried Sunbasket. Their food was good, but it took a long time to make. So that's why I kind of skipped that one. But there's another one too. I've tried a bunch of them, but there's becoming a lot more different, services like that are tailoring to people that have allergies. So that is great. I mean, you guys have shortcuts now. I didn't have that. So take a look at them. It does get expensive. I know that. I know going all organic is, it was expensive, but again, it's better now than it was back then. I can go to the corner store and I can find organic stuff. You can go to Target and find a bunch of organic stuff. Aldi has a lot of organic stuff, a lot of gluten-free stuff. So if you've got any of those stores by you, those are great. So you just kind of have to, again, you have to do a different type of lifestyle. But also, I want you guys, go out and do stuff. A lot of times I've talked to a lot of people that have EoE. Actually, the EoE post I did on my blog, I think it was like 5 years ago, is still my popular post. And I get people emailing me all the time. And they're so depressed because they don't go out anymore. Don't let this stop you. Bring your own food if you have to. A restaurant cannot turn you away because you have food allergies. So you tell them that I have to have my own food because I have all these food allergies. By law, they have to let you in. So just buy some drinks or something from them. But don't let this disease stop you. It shouldn't control you. You control it. Make sure you control it. All right, subscribe below, hit that little button, hit the little bell. Make sure you find out when I got new videos coming out. Every week I'm gonna come up with a new one. It's always gonna be about ditching the toxins out of your life. All right, also comment below. Let me know how EoE is affecting you. How are you coping? What's your go-to things that you like to do? What's helping you? And I'll also put below, I got a coupon code to Wild Tree if you want to check that out. If you want to check out Young Living, they have an awesome line of natural products. They're a company that I really trust, and everything is no preservatives, no chemicals, nothing, all the good stuff. So make sure you check that out, and I will see you next week. Bye.